Chapter 11, Transportation in Animals and Plants. So transportation means passage of goods, products or people from one place to another. Similarly, there is transportation of nutrients, oxygen, even waste within the body of living organisms, which is very important. Like we have discussed earlier, transportation in animals and plants is very important for them. Why? First of all, like we all know, we all need energy to do our life activities. We all require nutrients for whether bodybuilding, to repair, or for carrying out other functions. So, for all of these things, we require different nutrients. We require oxygen, we require energy. So, these things need to be transported from one body part to another. ये सारी चीजें हमें हर बॉडी पार्ट तक चाहिए. Therefore, these things get transported from one body part to another. Along with it, there is waste which is prepared or which is produced by each part of our body. जैसे हमारी बॉडी को सारे न्यूट्रिएंट्स चाहिए, हमारे हर सेल को, हर टिश्यू को न्यूट्रिएंट्स चाहिए, ऑक्सीजन चाहिए to carry out functions. Similarly, each and every body part also produces waste which needs to be transported to kidneys for excretion. जैसे हमारी हर बॉडी को न्यूट्रिएंट्स चाहिए, वो ट्रांसपोर्ट होना जरूरी है, उसी तरीके से हमारा हर बॉडी पार्ट, हर सेल या टिश्यू क्या करता है? वेस्ट प्रोड्यूस करता है. एंड दैट वेस्ट नीड्स टू बी collected from these body parts and sent to kidneys. So there are various factors for which we require transportation. And for this, there are three components. जैसे हम अगर हम transportation बात करें daily life में, so there are three things. First of all, we require roads or we require pathway. आपको पहले सड़कें चाहिए. Secondly, you require vehicle. आपको कार चाहिए. Let's say कार का example लेते हैं. You require car to move from one place to another. And third one, to pull or push that car, you require engine. So there are three things. पहले roads चाहिए जिस पर आपकी कार चल सके. roads नहीं होंगे तो कार नहीं चल पाएगी. फिर कार जिसमें आप बैठकर जा सके. And third one, engine. engine होगा तभी आपकी कार चलेगी. So like these three things are there. Similarly, in our body, if we talk about human beings, there are three components. First of all, blood vessels. That means roads. Secondly, vehicle, which is blood, and engine, which is our heart. So basically, there are three main components in our body as well: blood, blood vessel, and heart. Blood vehicle की तरह काम करता है, which actually carries all the substances. Blood vessels, which work as roads, जहाँ पर आपका blood move कर रहा है. And heart, the pumping organ, which actually acts as the engine for the car. तो आपके blood को move करवाने के लिए heart चाहिए, the pumping organ. So all of these three components, blood, blood vessels, and heart, they work together for transportation. So this transportation system is also called as circulatory system. This circulatory system is a transportation system in the human body which consists of a network of blood vessels that supplies food, water, oxygen throughout the body and removes waste products from the body. See, we are calling it circulatory system as well. Circulation, that means the things they are moving in a circular path. आपकी बॉडी में ऐसा नहीं कि लेट्स से कि आपका ब्लड आपके हेड से चला और टोज पर जाकर वही रुक गया. नो, द ब्लड कीप ऑन सर्कुलेटिंग फ्रॉम वन बॉडी पार्ट टू अनदर. आपके हेड से टो तक गया, टो वाला फिर आपकी बाकी बॉडी पार्ट में मूव करता रहेगा. सो इट कीप्स ऑन मूविंग, इट कीप्स ऑन सर्कुलेटिंग. सो दैट इज व्हाट, देयरफॉर वी कॉल इट circulatory system as well. And this helps us to get food, water, oxygen to each and every body part. And like we have discussed, there are three main parts of circulatory system: blood, blood vessels, and heart. Now we will discuss them one by one in detail. This is what circulatory system which we have discussed just now. Now these are the components of blood. जैसे अभी हमने बात किया blood, which actually acts as vehicle. So आपके blood में भी बहुत सी चीजें होती है, which acts to help us for transportation as well as for other functions. So blood का काम सिर्फ transportation नहीं है. There are various other functions which are performed by blood. So in all there are 4 components. We classify the components of blood into 4 main groups. First of all, plasma, the liquid part of the blood. Secondly, red blood cells, due to which our blood appears red. Third, white blood cells. And fourth, platelets. So there are 4 components: red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma. Red blood cells. These are red because of a pigment present in them, and name of that pigment is hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is the pigment which actually binds with the oxygen and help it to transport from one body part to another. So hemoglobin की वजह से हमारा blood red नजर आता है, and that helps us to transport oxygen from one body part to another. Secondly, white blood cells, which we also call as soldiers of our body, which actually fight against germs and protects us from diseases. So आपके soldiers, जिसमें हम कहते हैं कि we have like we nowadays we just like always talk about immunity. We always talk about immunity boosters. So immunity is what? These white blood cells, which actually fight against germs, which actually fight against the virus or bacteria. So we have these like diet that help in increasing white blood cells, or that help in fight against infection. So white blood cells are the cells which actually fight against infection in our body. Platelets, which help in clotting of blood, excessive bleeding. Whenever we get cut, it starts bleeding from there. So bleeding को रोकने के लिए we have special kind of cells which are actually present in blood, and we call them platelets. Next is plasma, the fluid part of the blood. You must have heard this word nowadays. We are using plasma therapy to treat corona disease. आप लोगों ने सुना होगा प्लाज्मा बैंक या प्लाज्मा थेरेपी यूज की जा रही है कोरोना से बचाने के लिए. Actually plasma is having the antibodies. आपका जो liquid part है blood का, उसी में आपकी antibodies dissolve रहती हैं. So that can be used to treat the patient against infection. As well as all the nutrients are also dissolved in the fluid part of the blood. So in total, there are 4 main components of blood: red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma. Hemoglobin, like we have discussed, which actually makes our blood appear red, but the function of hemoglobin is to carry oxygen.